All right, welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel. You see, there's three of us here tonight, so I'm pumped. Steve, who's here, been here every week, and a big help to the channel. But I'm also bringing in another close friend of mine. I've known 5 years now.
5 years, yeah.
5 years. I met him 5 years ago during a time in the world we don't love talking about. But I met him on the Talking Shop Patreon group. That's those of you who don't know, that's Gallows Anderson and Rocky Romero. And we just became great friends past all that stuff. Even though we'll get into the Patreon stuff tonight, because now Steve has been a member of the new version.
Oh yeah, the repentant version.
the new. I don't know if we call it new and improved, but in some ways it is.
Yeah.
It feels like, I mean, I'll get into it later, but it feels like technology has changed so much in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
But so I want to salvage up on tonight too, because me and Steve, I've been telling him me and Steve have a blast, and Sal's like, well, in general, I want to meet Steve because I live right near him.
We're neighbors.
We're
neighbors on the street.
Yeah, both Sacramento guys. Because Sal was like, I want to tell Steve about this wrestling show in Sacramento that's coming up.
Yeah, the SBW show.
Okay.
Yeah, that's this weekend, but I'm actually going to be taking off camping for Father's Day. So so I was like, I already made the plans to do that, but I was like, all right, either way, dude. They have a show once a month, so it's like, okay, we gotta go to one of these things, and they're down in Elk Grove, so not too far away from either one of us.
Done deal.
So yeah, definitely.
You say it, I'm there.
That's how he works. So
all right, well, good. So now we know. For the next one, we're down.
So I was like, man, it's so good to know a wrestling fan, Sacramento, fellow wrestling fan.
I need more friends like this. More
culture friends. More culture.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll get into some stuff real quick, and then we're just going to turn it to just, I don't want to say random wrestling stuff, but just stuff that you would talk with normally with your friends, and let's bring it to here.
Let's go wrestling roundtable. That works.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, we'd be remiss if we don't bring up Money in the Bank. Let's get that stuff out of the way and Raw, because Steve, you really were popping for Raw.
I thought Raw was one of the best Raws since the Raw debut on Netflix. I was texting all my friends. I texted Jeremy. I texted Mike. I was going down the list, and I was like, "You better be watching this. You better be watching this." I was one of the fans that kind of felt like Money in the Bank. I don't want to say it didn't deliver, but it's not. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought
you didn't love the card, remember?
Yeah, a much bigger show, and I just kind of felt the gloom. I kind of did it myself. I don't know if you guys did, but I watched the whole day of wrestling. I watched that Worlds Collide show.
Oh, okay.
I spent way too much time watching wrestling, but the Raw, man, like it kicked off, and we got Punk and Cena. We knew we were gonna get it. We all wanted to see it sometime this year. Hopefully, we would get it more than once. But I thought they were going to fight right then. I was marking out so much that I thought they made a match, and I thought we were getting it yesterday. But we're going to get this.
They teased it well. Yeah. And Sal, did you catch up with any of Raw, Money in the Bank? Anything you want to add? Got it.
No, yeah. So I didn't catch Raw for the full extent of the show. I did catch the ending, which was the Jey Uso versus Gunther match for the title. So I saw that one. Honestly, for that one, I did not expect that ending to happen. I did not expect that title change. I really wasn't thinking that was going to be the case. I honestly thought it was just going to be obviously he's going to continue his reign, getting into SummerSlam, going on from that point. But damn, that took a quick left turn for me. I was like, man, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I like that move, because I was really behind the Jey Uso train, right?
They were putting the rocket strap on that guy.
Yeah, they put the rocket ship on the guy, and then this kind of a stutter step of all right, let's move the title, off of him and give it back to him. But it's like I like Gunther as a champion. He was a really great champion heel, but I was still waiting for more. So waiting for a main event. I still want more of that.
I hear you, but man, if the reason is because he needs a break, I get it.
Yeah.
He's working nonstop, every Raw, every SmackDown, every house show,
right?
Every European tour, every pay-per-view.
Yep.
I mean,
no days off.
Right, he's had no days off.
Right.
Literally. And I'm not saying I feel bad for him, because I'm sure he's compensated nicely. This is what you dream about. But
right.
That being said, the last thing they need is a burned out babyface champ.
Right. Yeah. The
But that was
one
the storyline, is that he was burned out and he just getting beat up, helping his friends, and just fighting in fights that he didn't need to be in. Gunther was telling him. I mean, like they put him in that position to be there.
Yeah, he was the working champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, majority like with the main I can't see the main WWE championship title, but the other title, the other WWE champion, that's been more of that like, hey, he's the face of the company, but he's also not gonna wrestle every week. He's not gonna be doing these one-off tag team matches or anything like that. Right. It was just all based around the storyline of obviously of Roman Reigns for those 4 or 5 years where he was champion, where he only wrestled on the bigger cards.
Yeah.
And now seeing with with main event being the champion and just being that fucking workhorse. Excuse me for again being the workhorse.
With Cena, who's not there every time.
Right. Yeah.
He has to work double.
Right. Right. So I call the world title that working man champion.
The Intercontinental title.
Yeah, it's that title again. But I mean, either way, man, there's some prestige in it because you got Seth Rollins behind that title, you got Gunther running that title. So every guy that had it, the last was only 2 other champs before him. They all had it for a good amount of time before they ended up dropping it. That's why I'm like, I wasn't behind that move.
Yeah, I don't think
it, but I understand he needs a break. I get it.
Yeah, but what's his break going to be? 3 weeks, a month?
Yeah.
I mean, really, he's not going to miss SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna get I think he's going to be that mystery man in the King of the Ring tournament. I think that's why they couldn't tell you who was going to be that last spot. I think it's going to be Uso because I don't really know who else it could be.
Oh, right. Guys, we got a question from the chat, so I'm going to pose it to you guys. My amazing guest tonight, or not guests, co-hosts. Who, in your opinion, had the more exciting title? Mickey, first off, thank you for chiming in. More exciting, interesting title reign, Gunther or Jay? Kind of what you were just talking about there, Sal.
Yeah, I personally liked the title run that Gunther had. Straight up heel. That kind of stuff that he was doing, I loved it. It made me very entertained. But I understand in the bigger picture where you want more eyes to the product of all levels, not just pure wrestling fans that enjoy that heel championship run, but having everybody behind Jey Uso. Because I got my kids saying it right too. You know? So the fact is, the interesting part of it is, as a pure wrestling fan, I loved Gunther's heel run. Loved it. I want more of it. But behind the excitement when you hear that music, it's just me, Oos, since day one. That dude, I get goosebumps right now from doing it. So I'm torn between, but I still like Gunther as that exciting heel for me.
Steve, what about you?
I'll tell you this much. Like, I can't really remember many Gunther title defenses. I remember him winning the championship because of Judgment Day at SummerSlam. But I loved the chase of Jey Uso and just realizing the Yeet thing was a thing, him winning the Rumble. I wish that he would have won this match to have that reign actually have some defenses that meant something. Because of the fact that, like, when he won the Rumble, everybody in the world being like, why'd this guy win the Rumble? And then by the time WrestleMania came, everybody was on board with him. Like, he won them over. And I can't say that, the Jey Uso reign was better because, he was there, he did things, but he just didn't have any memorable, like, title defenses. Like, the match against Seth got broken up. But the chase that the buildup, I guess you can say, Uso is huge.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, Gunther is for the traditional wrestling fans, old school. Mm-hmm. He was a heel, good on the mic, had a dominating run. But Gunther's run also to me has a question mark because it's like, we talk about his dominance. He just lost to Sami Zayn the year before at Mania.
Yeah, for the title, final title.
Yeah, so it wasn't like the Roman run. The Jay chase was great. What I love about what Jey Uso did was we were happy he won the Rumble. They threw a curveball. But then he lost the fans for a bit. Not to all his fault. I mean, it was both booking and him. He won him back 2 weeks before Mania.
Mm-hmm.
With that awesome promo with "I'm not scared of you anymore."
Right.
Better to be reinvested.
Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. You're going to lose anybody with that.
That's true. They didn't do him any favors. They sure didn't. So that's not easy to do what he did. And he he gets the stigma a bit of nepotism, and I hate to say it. If you're in the bloodline and you're in Roman's family, good things can come your way. I mean, freaking Naomi just won the Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, and I hate to say it, but I think he's gotten everything. He's earned everything he's deserved. He's deserved everything he's earned.
Right.
I mean, him and his brother are like arguably the most respected tag team.
Hall of Famers,
but among their coworkers, their colleagues, when they say a wrestling, these two is like a night off.
Yeah,
they're that good.
Yeah,
and I think Jay was becoming that. I love how Jay reshaped his body to look like $1 million. I love how he got kids involved.
Yep.
I love how he got he sold merch. Roman can't make you sell merch.
Yep.
The being in the bloodline can't make you. Well, that can help you if you have the name and bloodline on it. But as yourself, Jimmy could not do what Jay has done. If they had tried to, it wouldn't have worked. They made it work. He's going to be back. I just think he needs a break.
Right.
So I don't think it's because his title run's been failing.
No, I don't think that. I don't really think that at all. It was just the just the blossoming of his title run, in my opinion. But then again, like you said, if he needed that break, hey man, we'll take the title off and we'll circle back with this one.
Right. Someone just mentioned about how he's held the title less than 2 months. Absolutely, but remember, this is not Vince McMahon's WWE anymore. TKO thinks 100% business and business only. If they feel their top babyface, and he arguably is right now, with Roman not there, with Cody just coming back, Jay's the top guy. The chase is better for him, and he can kind of regroup here, recharge his batteries. So I just think we can't just go by what Vince did all those years booking wise, and Bruce and all those guys. I think it's a different era. They just changed the WrestleMania because there's more money somewhere else.
Right.
Mickey wanted to give his point. I'll be honest, Gunther's run with ice and all, but Jay just had the it factor. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. So we talked about Money in the Bank. We talked about Raw. We ain't got to talk about AEW. Because now, I don't know. Steve,
Wednesdays? Like, you already lost me. I don't care what main event is on there. You got a 4-hour show? I'm already out.
I know. All in now, like having to, like, in their mind, take a backseat and say, we're going to start at 2 in the afternoon because we don't want to go against WWE. They should be like, this is our biggest pay-per-view of the year. We don't care.
Yeah.
If you're going to paint that picture, this is the place to be at that weekend for that show, and you're torn between two, hey, man, go ahead.
Yeah, we're the best wrestler. That's your moniker, right?
Yeah, if you are going to sit there and say we are the best wrestling company out there right now as we speak, then that show's going to start when it was supposed to. And if you're not going to pay attention, you're going to miss out the best wrestling.
I mean, you don't rent the stadium, right? You don't rent the stadium for an afternoon show.
Yeah.
Unless you're like somewhere overseas and you have to for time reasons.
Right.
Which they didn't in London. So, well, they did. Yeah, it was noon here, but prime time out there.
Right.
So that to me means Tony's like, oh, we're all in it. We're all in it. You're not if you take a backseat to a Saturday night.
Yeah. Because that just kind of doesn't it kind of point it out like, hey, maybe we're not that good. And I believe they are. I believe they have some really great talent there. But I mean, if you're already taking that second step back, what are you telling to your guys? What are you telling to the boys in the back? You know?
Yeah. Imagine WrestleMania saying, oh, we're going to go at 2 p.m. today.
Yeah. Let's get out early, guys.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
Like, they would never.
No.
And now their new thing is we're going live no matter what time zone you're in. If you're in India and we start at 4 a.m, that's it.
Yeah.
This year was the first year they went live, period. I love that. Steve, what do you think about All In going at 2 p.m.? We really talked about it not much.
Is it only going against Saturday night's main event, or is it going against Evolution the same day?
I think it's both of them that whole weekend between Collision or whatever, the ROH show and all that.
Saturday night's main event, I know I'm going to watch hands down. The Evolution show, I didn't watch the last one. I'm probably not going to watch this one. But, I mean, I'm not pumped for All In. I don't feel like it's must-see wrestling. Like, if my girlfriend's like, hey, we got to do this, it's like, oh, I guess we're going to do that. It's not like something I'm going to, like, put my foot down and be like, no, we're watching the wrestling.
For $50, you have to want to say that.
Yeah.
And I did for Double or Nothing. I plugged down 50. I haven't watched it since.
Yeah, last time I went to AEW was back in earlier in March. Dude, I was on the barricade.
I had fun. You're not going to go to a wrestling show and not say you didn't have fun.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
At the end of the day, it's one of the things that I chalked it up to. Like, I didn't look at the calendar. I didn't notice what was going on. But like at the end of the night, I was like, we didn't really see anything because it was the go home show to Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And like this guy didn't wrestle, that guy didn't wrestle. We saw him, but like I wish we were seeing some wrestling.
Right.
That's the problem with go home shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's all it's the filler, just the recap of everything that's led up to what's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you with that one, man.
Yeah. But we got some comments, man. Steve, we're not used to this all the time. So I don't want to undersell us, but WWE gives us a large quantity of wrestling, less quality. I say yes and no to that. What do you guys think?
I can say to the same thing. It's a yes and a no.
Yeah.
Just because, like, yeah, there is a lot of there's a lot of quantity of wrestling going on WWE's behalf, right? But if you're gonna go through with a fine tooth comb and go through every show, every lineup, and start looking at the quality, like, yeah, you might be getting a 75% average rate of like, hey, man, this was a decent show, but I kind of wish there was a little bit more action to it.
Yeah.
So,
and Steve and I were talking about this last time, Sal. We wonder how much Netflix is controlling the pencil on Raw. I mean, maybe they didn't want to announce Jay and Gunther the other night. Maybe Netflix doesn't like something. Netflix has such an investment in this. They have a say in not booking and creative completely, but how things
got some stake in the game. It's their network, and
they got to keep them happy.
Yeah, because I mean, the bottom line, we all know this in business. It's the shareholders,
right?
If the shareholders are not happy with what's being presented, like there's got to be making a change because they're the reason why this is all going up, anyways. So as much as corporate talk that it doesn't sound good, but it is what it is with that.
Sanoff, Jay had a better reign. Gunther made himself boring and too much of a joke by bailing, surviving Akira Tozawa. Oof. But Steve, what do you think about? Is it too much wrestling for you these days? Is it just? I mean, you're pretty hardcore, but
my biggest thing is like I like to watch wrestling, but I don't want to feel like I'm going to work and like working a shift to watch wrestling. Like just 3 hours, maybe 4 hours at the most. But dude, when you're putting up a Wednesday show and you're advertising 4 hours, it's just like I'm gonna get nothing done today. Like this is basically what it's gonna be. The pay-per-views, they make me feel like I'm just ready to go to bed. I don't even care what the main event is, and I'm just like I'm falling asleep here. Like I like the fact that when you think about like, okay, they're gonna give me 4 to 5 hours of wrestling for my $50. I'm gonna get my money's worth. But at the end of the night, you're just like, I wish it was 3 and I'd pay more. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I heard the most about Saturday Night Main Event was it moved fast, it had a great pace, and the matches were great. The longer the show goes, it's typically not better.
Yeah, I like going back to the day when we were all in our younger days when pay-per-views 2.5 hours, 3 hours long, the max. And to me that was just perfect enough because it was just mainly all wrestling. There wasn't no talking segments like how we see on Raw or SmackDown or on Dynamite. You don't see those. It's just like, hey, dude, this is where we're going to start hitting the ground, hitting the pavement right now. Right now, this is just pure action, and that's what I always felt with pay-per-views. Always needed to be. It's just like, hey, man, I want to see the end result of this conflict that just has been spiraling out for the last month and a half. Right. I don't need another talking segment. I just want, all right, let's go head to head. I want to see this action now.
Oh, so interesting there. What I don't think is talked about is we really don't have house shows anymore that much.
No,
which I get it. It was a losing prop. WWE really just did that just to promote. It wasn't to really make money. But that being said, at the house shows, you could try things out.
Yeah,
you could try out a storyline. You could try not a storyline per se, but like a match, 2 people working, and if it hits off really well there, then you think you might have something for TV. Mm-hmm. Now they have to try it on TV.
Yeah,
and they use a lot of TV time to try things out, and it may not work, and it may not work the other way too. But you're kind of throwing darts here now.
Yeah.
So I don't think they get talked about that much. The house shows were good for that. You might see a match and say this would be great on TV.
Yeah, I've been to house shows for WWE, and I've always had a lot more fun at the house shows than I did at the live events,
Big time.
or at the on TV tapings, because like you can tell, and I'm sure we've all are on the same agreement. I'm sure your audience is the same. When you go to a house show, it's you see these guys have fun out there and do stuff that you don't see on TV, which it may pop you, it may make you cringe, but the fact is, like, you felt something while you watched it there when no one else on the other side that's outside the building doesn't get to see. So you might be the first one to see a new finisher or a title change at a house show, but if you saw it on TV, it's not as special. Like, yeah, everybody sees it, but like when you were like, dude, I was there at the house show. Did you see it? Were you there? Oh no, dude, I missed it. I didn't get to go. There was a new world title that got changed hands, right? That's now gone because now everything's on TV.
And they don't have to worry about making their times and their everything. In their match. They can go out and just wrestle.
I remember Kevin Owens just doing promos on the guys as they walk down the aisle. You know, that's not going to happen on TV, but I mean, hey, give Kevin Owens the mic and let him talk some smack on somebody walking down the aisle.
I got some. I mean, I used to see my favorite time in wrestling, honestly, was the NXT years, 2014, 15, 16, when I used to see them at house shows, not the Full Sail taping, but in the early days. You would go there for $20 for a first row seat. Main event would be Charlotte, Sasha, somebody, or KO and Sammy.
Damn.
First match of the night was FTR and Enzo and Kaz. Like Finn Balor, like you, and then you'd get a meet and greet before the show. They bring out 3 wrestlers. You didn't know which ones, but you generally got some big names.
Yeah.
But they got to try things out there.
Right.
And you would always see people debut there before they hit TV.
Didn't matter who they were all working those shows.
They were all working those shows. They all had to be there. Sometimes they didn't wrestle at night, but they were there. But man, so many people we got to see before they hit TV. It was so cool. And the main roster would do that too. We saw the Wyatt family here before they hit TV. So okay, we got some other comments, man. Thanks. This has been fun. John wanted to say Tony Khan doesn't know who still wrestles for the company because it's so bloated. That's been a knock. Easy to say that when we're not there.
No, they gotta. I mean, I thought WCW's roster was just huge. I mean, they've been having World War III, one match, 90 men. I think that
90 men.
I think AEW could do that no problem. Contract that, like, remember Scorpio Sky? That guy was awesome. He was like a day one AEW guy. They built him up to be the
next big thing.
He got a custom belt made for himself. He lost that belt. I think he had an injury, but we've never seen him again.
I was shocked. He was a BTE guy with the Bucks, and Matt Jackson before the first AEW show 2 days before said, "Watch out for Scorpio Sky. This guy is gonna do big things for us." Like, they must be paying Hangman so much because that guy, no matter how much people don't want him, they are going to make sure he goes over. And I understand fans shouldn't always dictate booking, even though it plays a big role. But Steve and I were saying we were just kind of done with All In when you didn't put the Ospreay Moxley match together.
Second year in a row that he could have been the main guy in the company, and he fell short. I don't know what the story is going to be, but I'd be trying to push that up as fast as I could.
Right. Because I mean, Ospreay, I mean, that's the guy you want behind because he is, like, from where he's came from and the people that follow him. Like, dude, you're growing that business, and isn't that the whole point with any business? You want new eyes to the product, right?
He's British.
So the guy that only know Ospreay just because of his New Japan work, right? And now he's in AEW. Well, like, hey, I'm still watching his old work. I'm like, well, if he maybe was champion, maybe that would open up some eyes. But again, I mean, that's booking, doing that, and the powers that be to figure that out. But I mean, even then,
how many times have we seen
blood you want new blood and eyes on the product?
Yeah, and how many times have we seen Hangman Moxley?
Yeah, I mean,
I could get it. It was like for a Dynamite or something, or a lower pay-per-view. But like, this is your biggest one of the year. You try to do matches we haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
at the best you can, or a match we haven't seen in a long time. We've seen Hangman Moxley so many times. I get they'll do some stipulation, and Mox will do some crazy thing where he climbs to the roof of the baseball stadium and jumps off. Like, who knows? But
it kind of reminds me of like the early 2000s WWE where everything was a triple threat match. I don't know how you guys felt about that because I remember back in that time, everything was a triple threat.
It's
So
like,
it's
we
like,
got to get Cena in the match somehow.
yeah, and it was just
Triple
everything.
threat.
It was always the same 3 guys, if not, it was always the same 9 players that
Yeah.
just rotated. And it's like, okay, it kind of feels like that with AEW, where you see the same rotation, but it's okay, man. I want something new, you know.
Sal, you have a guest that wants to say hi to you.
Oh, I do.
Grayson the Ginger,
The
Talking Shop Patreon fame.
legend, the man, the myth,
What's up,
legend.
Sal?
What's up, Grayson? I hope
yeah.
your hand's not tired, brother.
Oh man.
That's something that we get.
One thing I noticed about the like how you said guys are set in AEW, like the main event players, they never change. Nobody ever goes from the mid card up, but you guys see guys
Swerve did that.
They fall, and it doesn't make sense. Like
Swerve Strickland's that rare guy that really worked his way up.
Yeah, I get you on that. I was wrong on that one, but
no, you weren't wrong. I'm just saying he's that rare guy in this situation.
He's that one exception so far.
Yeah,
it's the same thing they're repeating from WCW. Is like WCW gets stuck in their ways. They're like, these are your main eventers. Boom, 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 and then like you had all these other guys putting on the best matches of the night, but they're just kind of stuck right there.
Mickey Mox is guaranteed to bleed. Oh, he bleeds walking to the ring.
Bleeding now.
He's probably bleeding right now on Dynamite. We don't even know. Grayson, every Raw main event was a tag match. That's true for a while. I don't mind that because save the bigger matches for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. Unless it's Saudi Arabia. Grayson wanted you to know he's never too tired. Good brother. And now Grayson's over here. It was like Daniel Dominguez, I think. For those who don't know, Daniel Dominguez, he did the Good Brothers. He did the new theme for the Good Brothers. So
that's awesome.
If you download it on iTunes, man, that's a shout out to Daniel. He did a great job in that thing.
Yep.
We got to hear it before anybody else on the Patreon, so we're gonna talk about that a little, if you don't mind, guys.
Oh yeah,
it's cool to bring it up to you too, because Steve, you're a couple months in, but you're still in this new run.
Oh yeah,
Sal, you're an OG. I'm not going to say what you like different or compare and contrast. What made you join it the first time? What were your thoughts about it? Just something like
so the first time around, COVID, obviously, bored at home. I always found the Good Brothers funny. I always have. Their humor has always been very similar. That's why I can appreciate that. And when I stumbled upon the Patreon the first time around, I was like, oh, you know what? $20 at the time. I'm not going to trip over $20. Let me see same thing what everybody else does. Let me see what it's about. Give it a month and go from there. I stuck around. I didn't leave, and got to the point where man, I made some Jeremy, one of my great friends that I made there. You know, awesome. Rex and Trex, same thing. You know, the other guys that are not in the Patreon are still lifelong friends of mine. You know, and that was one of the best part for me was while the world went down, I made new friends, and you know. June is men's mental health, right? And as a man, like, hey man, we all need friends out there in the world. Someone that we could always count on. I could always count on Jeremy for anything. Steve, I'm gonna since you're friends with him, I'm sure I can do the same thing with you, and we're just down the street from each other, brother. You know, but yeah, it was the friendship that I made from there, which was great. But also just the fact like I'm talking to the Good Brothers, talking to the GMAX 2012 GMAX finalists, right? You know, the 7-time World Tag Team Champion, and then having Rocky Azúcar Romero in there. You know, it's like, man, that's pretty cool. I mean, we're here just chit-chatting with the boys, just hanging out, you know, doing the boozing with the boys at the time. You know, those were pretty wild times in that respect. But definitely want to mention that all of that accumulated when we finally got to meet up in Baltimore. When we finally said, all right, guys, when is the next Talking Shop Live? It's in Baltimore. Stakes in the ground. We're all making it some way, somehow.
Because I was the only one that went to the first one.
Yeah, you're the only one that went to the first one.
You guys kept reaching out saying, do you really get to hang out with them? Do you really? I'm like, dude, I sent pictures. It still wasn't. And then you finally said, okay, we're in. I said I was in. Then our friend Rex said he was in because he lives 2 hours away. And then Sal's like, I'm coming from California. And all of a sudden the ball got rolling.
Yeah. I remember that.
25 of us showed up there.
Yeah. There was, we
everybody who said they were coming showed up.
All showed up, yeah. And it was great because like I said, we all came from different parts of the country, literally different parts. And what do you know, that the common denominator with all that, the Good Brothers brought us all together.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm forever thankful for them just because I made new friends at that point. But now with the second time around, right? Now it's like, oh, I saw it on Instagram. Oh, they're back. That's a no-brainer. Let me go ahead and sign up again.
Dang.
And without even a hesitation, not even like, you know, I don't got time. Like, no, I'll figure it out. I had fun the first time. I'm gonna have fun again.
Yeah, it's a whole lot different this time around. Like, because Steve has asked me a few times what was like the first, and I'm like, you got an hour, you got a couple hours.
Yeah, the first time. Yeah, it was.
Have that technology too.
Yeah,
the chat didn't exist.
Yeah,
on our phone, we didn't have that chat. We
Yeah.
didn't have like a video announcement for them. You had to log into Patreon. No one ever did, unless it was for a boozing with the boys.
Yeah, that was like
that was we got a Zoom link. It wasn't like no one ever went into the Patreon and actually like wrote stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was only unread. Like you said, during the actual boozing with the boys, where somebody will do it, will start typing in the chat.
Right, but on Zoom, not on Patreon.
On Zoom, yeah. But like now with the community that is there, like we're talking every single day with everybody, and through the different chat rooms that are within the Patreon, you know. For the
and they're there every day. Like,
yeah,
it was a little different then. But we knew during then, like for me, what was great was I knew every other week I was going to get to go on a Zoom. With all these people, and for 2 hours or 3, however long we were on, forget about what was going on in the world.
Yeah,
like it kept. I've thanked Carl a million times. Like, dude, you got me through COVID. You, Gallows, and Rocky got me through COVID. Because work was stressful, life was, and it was for everybody. I'm not just saying me, but it got me through that time. I knew I had that time to just. We talked about anything but what was going on in the world there.
Right. It was a great.
We broke off and did our own side stuff.
Yeah.
So we'd meet once, twice a week.
Yeah. Which that would be kind of cool to do to an extent. I mean, if that was the case, you know,
I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was different then because we couldn't go out and do things that time around. This time we can, so it's like you gotta want to be there. Like this time, like everybody was stuck at home, so we'd be like Wednesday 8 o'clock. Just tell us at 7:58. We'll be there. Like, Steve, what have you thought about it, man? I'm the one. I reached out to Steve like day after they announced and said the Patreon's coming back. So please, what are your thoughts?
I listened to them way back in the days when they were on MLW. I don't even know how I started listening to them because I think it was just a thing as like the Bullet Club was getting popular and I was figuring out who they were. I found out they were having a podcast, but those shows were just crazy. Right. And like I don't think I ever unsubscribed when they stopped doing it, when they signed with WWE. And then all of a sudden the show just like picked back up again. Like they didn't have an announcement. It was just in the podcast app. And I know in 2020, when they birthed the Patreon the first time, like I was getting my life together, but I didn't have the money to blow on a Patreon. Like this is the first ever Patreon group that I've ever subscribed to.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Steve, you asked me like, where's this Patreon thing? What do I do? So I had to send him the link and everything.
Yeah. And I was scared that they were going to leave Blue Wire and I wasn't going to be able to listen. And I was just like, I want to keep listening to the shows. I know that they came out and they were kind of saying like the repented version that they were doing before they left WWE. They didn't like it. It was too scripted and they were like telling each other what to say when they would say it. But I couldn't tell. I loved it. I want to know what the cryptid talk is. Bring that back. It's kind of a shock that like there's the chat and I can ask Carl a question. I think like there's the crazy chat that like everything's in, and sometimes it's about wrestling, and sometimes it's about jerking off and all kinds of weird stuff like that.
Grayson.
Shut up, Grayson. Shut up, Grayson. YouTube's gonna flag me for that one.
Workout chat. I told Carl like I just need like some inspiration. Like I've dropped 20 pounds. I'm looking to drop like 10 more. It's cool to have like one of your favorite wrestlers be able to tell you like, hey, this is what you can do. You can do this, like, and like give you that inspiration. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's been good for me. But I'll admit, like he texted me the day before the announcement, like it's coming back. I never in a million years just thought about it coming back. I'll be honest. Even when like they left WWE, and I said like 70-80% of me was like, oh, really? Awesome. I'm in. Then there was 20% that said, oh boy, here we go again. It was a roller coaster.
Yeah, I remember the first round, because obviously we're stuck at home and all that. I was talking to another buddy of mine, but like we were drinking a lot.
Nobody left their houses. A lot of people.
Yeah, none of us left our houses. I mean, I still had to go to work.
I would get out. I live in Florida. Yeah. Sal would get out, but like,
yeah.
To mess with people, we would go on the Zoom like from a different location. People would go, "Where's your couch?" Like, oh, you're saying drinking? Oh yeah,
no, yeah. But that's the cool part. I mean, the cool part now is that it's not. I mean, if you drink, you drink. That's cool. Do your thing, right? I'm no one to tell you to don't do it or do it or whatever. But it's cool though, because it's 5 years removed from the original time that we did it, where we were all doing it, including Machine Gun, and now he's over what, well over a year sober. Like, man, that's pretty damn cool. That's pretty damn cool, man. So, but the fact that like, hey, man, like we can have that fun without having to kill our livers left and right.
Yeah, I'll admit I didn't drink the first boozing with the boys. I had a great time.
Yeah, I had my cup of tequila, but normally didn't. I mean, Jeremy, you see me where I've downed the bottle.
I know. Yeah, it was one night that happened, and then he went on Pro Wrestling Tees and bought like 3 Rocky Romero shirts. Yeah, because Rocky, it was one of the episodes. They were all on, and Rocky was just bored that night, so Rocky stayed on for like another hour or 2.
Yeah, it was like another hour and a half.
Called it like Rocky After Dark or something.
Yeah.
And Sal, that was I think the most you'd ever been feeling it on that.
Yeah.
And that was when like the legend of Sal was really born that night. Like we all knew you, we all love you, but you were usually quiet on the side and drink a little. And that night, like we saw Sal and like his personality.
Yeah.
And the legend was born that night. And
Nature Hoot showed up.
Love you all. Give me the link to your Pro Wrestling Tees. Someone's gonna support you during this time. And he bought like 3 Rocky shirts. Grayson with a nice message here. I love that we are all doing podcasts now. Hey, I was on before this came back. I'm just kidding. The Good Brothers communities appreciate. Thank you, Grayson, man. Appreciate it, man.
There we go.
Yeah, man. Just jump on more often, man. I'll talk to your publicist about you coming on one time.
About that last word there.
Publicist? Oh.
No.
You got to be in the chat. Because I told Carl, I said we're going to talk about the Patreon. Because like, what I love about it is, listen, you pay monthly, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Last time, I'll admit, when people would say, "Do you really talk to Carl all the time?" It was tough for him with his schedule and COVID, and Rocky ran the show last time.
Yeah.
Now, Carl said to me that when the night before he's like, "This time I'm running," and I went, "Ew." All right. Yeah, I was like, "Do you remember the last time?" But I could tell, all jokes aside, I could tell how motivated he was, how fired up he was. I was like, he's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And even he's exceeded even everything. I should always know, don't put anything past him, but he said it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna work my hardest to make it, like, not to sell me on it, but like, and that's when I said, it was just tough for him to be there. So Rocky was there a lot, Gallows was there a lot. But remember, we didn't have, I sound old saying it, we didn't have a lot of those features we have now.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had some of the like Carl could have sent the message then that he couldn't do before.
Mm-hmm.
And then their TNA schedule was just crazy, and they were in lockdown a lot at hotels and stuff. So with travel, they were in quarantine a lot. Remember, they were still like remember Rocky had a month in Japan. He had a quarantine.
Oh yeah.
So it was tough. When they got back on the road more, it was tougher to do the boozings.
Yeah.
It wasn't because they didn't want to. It was just tougher. When they were home, it was every other week. They got amazing guests.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I said this is the best kept secret in the world right now. Like this boozing. We were on with them right before their TNA announcement.
Yeah.
That night. Before the first Talking Shop of Mania, we did a lead-in.
Yep. That was a cool party. I remember that.
That was that was cool. I think before Double or Nothing in Jacksonville, Carl did a backflip in his pool. I mean, but he has killed it, like running it. Like
I enjoy it, man. I am very entertained with this.
And not that Rocky didn't, because Rocky dealt with
Rocky.
The stuff Rocky
did all their part. Dude.
I don't blame him for taking a break a little bit this time. He's still there,
he's
man.
He's a silent partner, dude. He's getting paid.
Silent, yeah. But he's the stuff. He became like customer service in a way which he didn't deserve.
Yeah.
And I've even told him that. Gallows does a great job of like being right in the middle, where he's involved a lot, but he knows how to take a step back. He's great at that. But they're both. If anyone is watching this and thinking about joining, I recommend it, man.
Do it.
Really do it.
It's a great community.
And I'm not just saying that because we know them and we've gotten to know them. Steve made a great point. There's like 7 different forums now.
Yeah.
So if some of the talking shop stuff that like Grayson, the world Grayson's created, Rocky is secretly pocketing all
that Saab money, dude. Or was it the Subaru money or the Saab money they put in?
Ricky from Japan?
Yeah, Ricky from Japan.
That started. They did a podcast with Vince Russo.
Yeah.
And Rocky came on late, Steve. So
hey, Ricky.
Rocky came on and Carl said, "You know this guy, Vince?" He goes, "Yeah, of course, Ricky from Japan." And he was serious and just, oh man, poor Rocky. Every time he came back.
It's like when they did the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, and he didn't know that who he was, and he just thought
he was one of the minion.
I made a joke to Rocky on that one, and he said he knew I was saving it when I said, "Man, I'm so glad Stone Cold knows a good assistant when he sees one." Because remember, Dallas made that joke. He's like, "I didn't know tag teams had assistants. I didn't know tag teams." But what you see is what you get with them. It's back, and I can honestly say it's bigger and better than ever.
Yeah.
Everything Carl said, like in that 2 sentences or whatever, has been 10 times that.
You either get them twice a month.
People are getting just benefits out of the workout and diet area.
Oh yeah.
They may not want to be in the chat as much or the other stuff, but Carl's there every day, like going over people's weights, going over their grams of fat. Like he loves that stuff. I could see him past wrestling. I don't want to say like being a personal trainer, but like
an influencer,
helping people with their diets and helping people like
a health influencer.
Yeah, like DDP.
Yeah.
He's just so good at communicating with people and interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him really like changing the quality of people's lives.
Right.
And he can say, "I did it myself." What better way? So, all right, put it over to Patreon for a bit. The Patreons who have joined this chat tonight, I thank you all. You've made this one to remember. Grayson, you really, can we talk about, we have a little Emerson, who's going to be working the table again this weekend. Heel Emerson. People get nicknames now and they start like characters in this stuff. Can we talk about, we have a little, you got to join the Patreon if you want to get the full Grayson experience. I think that's the thing now.
You got to catch up to that legend, Nate.
Got to catch up. Yeah. What he's done in a short time is pretty
I know one of the brothers that was in that I guess is newer to the Patreon over there. He said that he went on a 7-hour binge to catch up. And that's not a commitment to say, hey, this is that good where I'm going to spend 7 hours of my time to catch up. Guys,
I'm not caught up in everything from this run.
Yeah.
I admit, like, I don't every day check it, and that's fine. But then sometimes you go to the messages and you see your 700 messages behind.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. So you just catch what you need to. I can only imagine when Gallows actually.
When he finally gets logged in.
Yeah. I've been told by Carl that I'm Stone Cold. No. Okay. No. Okay. No. No. Grayson must wake up and like cut promos to himself. You're the greatest ever.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
God, I mean, now Grayson does the Carl. Guys, I gotta go to work. I'll be in the chat later to interact with you guys. All right, you guys be good without me. Great community in a new way. Feels. Hey, listen, man. You also, Daniel, you did a great thing with their theme music and that vlog you shot for them.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was really cool. I really enjoyed that vlog. I'm saying that because I vlog, but I love seeing behind the scenes stuff like that.
Was that when they went to the ballpark in LA?
Yeah, he was around with them. Yeah, that was all Daniel. Yeah, it wasn't them editing and filming. But man, I want to ask you guys some questions, man. And obviously, Steve and I are from a little older generation than you, Sal. You have no idea. Oh, stop it. I do. But hey, put yourself over, Grayson. I have no problem with that. Man, they talk like Carl.
Pretty damn cool, man.
That's pretty damn cool, man.
Carl's created like his own like I don't even know what to say. But anyway, what was the okay? I'll start with you, Steve. You're the older of the two here. Mm-hmm. what was the match or the wrestler when you were young and said, I'm a wrestling fan. I love this professional wrestling world.
I mean, Hulk Hogan made me lose my mind. I know that I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan as a kid, and like I would buy anything the guy did. But the one match I kind of point to from SummerSlam 1991 is Bret versus Perfect. I think that was the first match that I realized that like wrestling is pretty freaking cool. Like you don't need a huge story, you don't need like Earthquake, um, what was it? What did it call it when he sat down on Hogan's chest? I don't even remember what that
Monster Heel.
Yeah, but I mean, like you don't need like a big movement. Like you just need a match and let the wrestling speak for itself. That was the one where I kind of realized, like, oh, like wrestling's changing a little bit for me. Like I'm getting a little bit older. So that's the one match that points to me that I was like, I'm into this.
Awesome, Sal. You're an old school wrestling fan to the fullest because you and I talk old school wrestling. Up on his NWA, but he's a different era than us. Cool to be younger. What was it for you? What was that moment? Because I know you're a hardcore OG fan.
I will show you this. Hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on.
See, I didn't have it prepared. I'll give mine while he looks for that stuff. For me, it was Hogan Cheek. I was 7 years old, and that was it.
Damn.
When you guys get to know me, I promise I have no ego at all. We know that, man. We know that, man. It's just, hey, man, you're having fun, and that's it, man. If you can't have fun, what's the point? Sal, just to make it clear, Grayson, he has no ego. He's just like,
oh, there we go.
And
so if you guys don't know, I'm sure majority everybody knows this is the 1990 yellow Intercontinental title. The champion that had it, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
So the biggest mark for Ultimate Warrior back in the day. Okay. So to answer your question, what match that made me think that this is, or made me feel like wrestling, this is it for me? 1990 WrestleMania 6, Hogan, Warrior, title for title. That was the match for me. I was 3 years old. That's like the earliest memory that I have of professional wrestling, and to any extent, because I remember watching it as a kid. And I mean, shit, we all remember that when WWE came out with 14 original video cassette tape of WrestleMania, right? The gray one. And I was buying it piece by piece. I couldn't drop $150 at the time for the whole set. But the first WrestleMania I bought was WrestleMania 6. And brother, I played that thing till that tape literally stopped working. And it was always just on that match, just because for me as a kid watching the dude when he was holding up both titles, swinging them around, and I mean, just that nostalgia of what WrestleMania was to me at that time has always carried on into obviously years later, where that fandom has never died down. And I know there's a lot of people that didn't like Warrior and all this stuff, but just as the character for that 5 minutes that he was running down the aisle and shaking the ropes, dude, that was it. You could not tell me otherwise. You cannot tell me, nah, he sucks. Like, no, but I'm shaking the ropes too because I can't hear you.
Cares what they think. That's the beautiful thing of wrestling. You like who you want to like. You don't like who you don't want to like.
Sorry, my cat had to see what's up.
Sal's cat.
I'm over here, man.
Emerson wants to chime in, and hey, that's what the chat's for, baby. If I can chime in, mine was WrestleMania 10, Razor HBK.
There you go.
A ladder match.
Yeah.
I mean,
now underneath the ladder like that, dude. Hey, man, that's machismo right there.
That was epic.
Yep.
I mean, those two guys knew each other to such a T, obviously being best friends. Garrison, we know we're busting balls. That's the talking shop way. You gotta, I'm not gonna say you have to love it completely, but you gotta accept it in some ways. It's all love at the end of the day. Grayson, put over your belt, man.
Oh, thank you.
That belt is sweet.
I'll tell you this quick little story about this.
I never knew that belt, man.
Yeah, so I bought this belt at a SmackDown taping when I became an assistant manager at my company, right? And it was me and my brother-in-law that went together, and he was my buddy that went. And my wife told him, "Don't let him buy anything stupid." The exact words she told him to tell me that, "Hey, man, I can't let you go off wandering around spending money." I was like, "Whatever, man. We got second row seats. We're gonna be hammered. We're gonna be drinking beers. We're gonna have a great time." I had an amazing time, right? But it was the times where I was going back up to the bathroom in between my beers, right? And of course, going up the stairs, going to the bathroom. What's right next to the bathroom?
Merch stand.
Guess what's at the merch stand? Titles. I am a mark for titles. 100%. Yeah, I'm a mark. This is my first one that I bought and that I can get away with, right? Until I get the Wing Eagle one. But so as I'm going back and forth with the bathrooms, I see the title and I go up to the merch guy. I'm like, hey man, how much is the yellow Intercontinental title going? He goes $399 plus tax. And I said, oh man, $400. I don't know if I can swing that. Kind of got scared. But going back down, getting another beer later. Now my wallet's loose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing about, hey, don't let him buy anything stupid. Well, I told my brother, like, hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. He goes, okay, man. Hey, don't buy anything stupid. And I said, I won't. Go up there. The guy sees me. He's just like, come here. I know what you want. Come here. So I turn my head down, start walking up to the merch. Here's my card. threw the sumbitch over my shoulder, walked down back the steps with another beer, right? My brother-in-law turns around, he jaw drops. What is that, dude? What I thought you were going to the bathroom and get a beer. Like, I did. I was like this. I did. I mean, what do you want me to do about it? I got you ready.
Tell her that you want it, man. So you just pin someone in the parking lot. Like,
yeah. So at the end of it, I get home, we get out of the Uber, stumble out. I threw my title like I just won it. I just went through the 92 Royal Rumble, looking like with a tear in my eye, right? I finally got a piece of nostalgia history for me as the inner kid that I still had for the Warrior, right? And my wife comes out, just, are you serious? Yelling at her brother, you let him spend money. How much was that? What's going on? I'm like, I'm not returning it. I bought it, so I got some heat for it. It still gets brought up to this day in a joking manner. So it's just, I'm the Intercontinental Champion at home. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Exactly.
Exactly. Nice champion.
Sorry. Go, Steve.
How many years ago did you buy that belt?
This is about 10. No, this is like 9 or 8 years ago.
How are you just finding out about this?
This is when we were when they were at this is when Sacramento. This is when we still had the Arco Arena.
Oh yeah.
This is one of the last shows they had at Arco before they tore it down. They came up with Golden One.
Emerson wanted to say he loved Warrior too. He remembers when he came in WCW, he was so hyped. I loved WCW too, like 97, 98. I flipped between Raw and Nitro like a madman. When he showed up that night and joined the War Games match, I was running around like, oh my god, this is one of the and it just went nowhere.
Right. I've always been a full-blown WWE guy. I was never the one to flip the channel. I've always stuck WWE. Never really watched WCW because, like, even then, like, I'm sure we were all in the same.
I may have appeared on Nitro one time. Interview on the show. It's okay.
But I was just more intrigued with Austin's rise, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, when that turn came around for those younger generation guys who were coming up, and it's like I already saw Hogan, I already saw Savage, I already saw Flair, and it's like, yeah, the school is still that they're there, but I was just more intrigued in WWE and what they had coming in. So,
I mean, WWE just booked better, obviously, with less of a roster.
You could see how hot that mid card was. What he was talking about when like Rock and Stone Cold were fighting for the ice.
Oh, yeah. DS97, dude. That was, or it wasn't. Yeah, it was. That was that year because that's where he threw the title over the bridge. And that's where Stone Cold showed up in his Chevy Silverado and then put D'Lo Brown through the windshield. Oh, that was cool.
That was cool.
That's how you're an OT Warrior fan. So Grayson is bringing the heat tonight. Do you remember when Brutus Beefcake became the disciple? He became a member of the One Warrior Nation.
I remember that.
I do. I watched a match. I watched Bash to the Beach 98, where he comes in and he hits his version of the stunner, and that sets up Hogan and Rodman getting the win over Malone and DDP.
That's right. That was the match I did a promo for. Jacksonville, Florida, 1998. I see Mike Tenay walking around outside. I said, Mike Tenay. And he goes, what do you think of Hogan and Rodman against DDP and Malone? Because that was like right after the match was announced. I'm like, oh, it's crazy, man. They hit DDP with the chair last week. It should get interesting. He goes, all right, I'm going to put the mic right here and say something about the chair shot. Like, I did it. And he goes, that was really good. It's going on. Mm-hmm. And I still check it out. Every now and then I go on Peacock. I find that episode of Nitro.
I'm gonna have to find it, dude. Like,
I could have sworn I sent it to you like back in the day.
I haven't. If I
It
got
has
it,
been a long time. I mean, 5 years.
it's still worth another watch.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Yeah. I'm still ready.
I don't look 20 years old in that video.
I know that the Raws aren't on Peacock anymore, but are the Nitros still up? Is the WCW stuff still up?
Yeah, you go 1998, June of 98. I forgot Kevin Green was on that episode. It was a good episode.
Was that
the week? I can take that back. It was the week. I think it was the week after Sting joined the Wolfpack. Week or two after.
Okay.
Because they did a huge promo there, and the place went insane.
So is it is the next week in Atlanta with Hogan versus Goldberg?
It was a week or two, a couple weeks after.
Okay.
No, like a month after.
Because I know the
end of May, June, and that was like July, right after July 4th.
Okay. Because I know that like Malone and DDP come out and they hit him with the chair,
right?
And that's what helps Goldberg win.
Yeah.
And then they have.
I can find it. I just watched it the other day, as a matter of fact. I can find it. Yeah. But I still remember that because Sal, man, I first episode Steve was on, I was telling him the story that I was at the Nitro. You remember when Sting came off a helicopter?
Oh, Panama City.
Sting came off a helicopter into the nightclub to fend off.
Was that when they had the pool party, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that on the network. I've seen the clips of that one.
Like $15 for a ticket back then.
Man, just give me those prices again. I would be there.
Steve's like, where'd you sit? I'm like, for 15. Nobody cared. You just walked around. It was a nightclub.
The last Nitro was $15, and you got all you can drink beer the whole time. The WCW.
We were supposed to go that night. Ended up not because it was only an hour and 15 from where I went to school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We just ended up not. Something happened. I forgot. We didn't know it was going to turn out to be the last Nitro ever. It wasn't like we found out that afternoon.
Yeah, as the reports are coming in, hey, we're done, guys. Like, damn.
Yeah, this was all like you only could find out then on dirt sheets.
And they're already outdated by the time you got it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Club La Vila. Yep, Panasonic. Oh man, that place was insane. I can't believe I went into that pool one time, but that's another story. Grace and I would have went to jail at night if I was my age back then.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, they're so used to that there. Panama City. So we went through our moments that made us a wrestling fan. Because one thing I've said, man, the wrestling community is a pretty solid community. I mean, how many people, Steve, just in Vegas came up to us and just started talking?
Everybody. I mean, you're in a line to wait to get into the superstore, a line to get into the world, or a line to meet somebody to take a picture. Like, the person next to you is a wrestling fan. You can talk to them about anything, and it's like say if I was a Cena fan and we were waiting to get in, like you could talk to a guy in a Cody shirt, you could talk some trash, and like it doesn't cross that line. You're just having fun. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we're just cutting promos left and right on one another.
Yeah,
I remember I went to Mania for down in LA. I went to both nights, and I met it with my cousin the second night. Me and him were just pounding tequila shots in the parking lot before going in there, right? So I was feeling really good walking in that stadium, right? And I remember going up the escalator to the seats. I was meeting up with my buddy that I went with, and I was just hooting and hollering, "If you ready for WrestleMania, give me a hell yeah!" Going up this escalator. And yelling, "If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for it. Everybody suck it." And so I was just walking around the stadium.
Yeah, but you're a big personality, but in a good way, Sal.
Well,
like, everyone just likes being around you. Like,
give me a couple of drinks, man. I let loose. Apparently, sometimes a little too much.
New Japan show. I was at a New Japan show with Sal in Los Angeles.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were, dude.
During COVID, right? Or towards the end.
No, this was in 21.
21. So we had to wear masks there, and
I wasn't about that.
Yeah, they made us wear. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get there and New Japan crowds are very like subdued.
Yeah, it was.
I think because of COVID, people were afraid to cheer loud between the two. Sal wasn't having that.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember Rocky on one of the episodes of Rocky After Dark at the time. I remember, or it was on one of the after shows for the Patreon at the time. But I remember him saying like there was like weird tension in the crowd. It just felt. It was just it wasn't a bad show. Like the card was banging, dude. It was banger.
Where they put it also.
Yeah, it wasn't in the Coliseum.
No, we kept hearing LA Coliseum.
Yeah.
We're so stoked. They put it in like the walkway in front of the building.
Yeah, the walkway of the Coliseum.
It was like a parking lot show.
Yeah.
They treated it like an indie parking lot show.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was a new environment that I've witnessed wrestling, but it was just funny though because like it was very what if you watch New Japan wrestling during that time, it was a lot of this, right? A lot of everybody was quiet, but me, Jeremy, Rex, I was not quiet. I was hooting on. I was over here challenging Tama to a fight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I would but I mean, keep in mind, how did our day go before that?
Yeah,
we recap that day a little bit. We've never really talked about it.
No, yeah. We ended up starting El Segundo Brewery, where Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer is made. It was, a stone throws away from the stadium. It wasn't far at all. So we were hanging out down at El Segundo.
Your idea? Don't.
Well, hey, I mean, I'm glad that you guys wanted to go there because it's like I've never been there. I grew up there, and I'm like, hey, if you guys want, let's go have some legit beer. It's Stone Cold's beer over there, and met up at the brewery. So I have a picture of us in front of the Stone Cold brewery thing.
Yeah.
So I have that picture of all of us there. But yeah, we met there. I don't know how many beers we had. We had quite a few, and a few novels that we read that day. And then we ended up going to Hollywood. We went to the Rainbow. So one of the iconic Sunset Strip venues for rock music. So Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Rat, Poison, all these guys that I grew up listening to. And
you had to make it there to make it in rock and roll.
Yeah, if you made it there, you made it anywhere. And me, Jeremy, Rex, Eric, our wives were there, and we were just hanging out, drinking in front of the Lemmy's statue. We took a shot with Jack Daniels with Lemmy's statue right there.
Yeah.
And then we got inside of the actual restaurant, and we got to see the November Rain booth where Guns N' Roses they filmed their video for it. So and then just
all just the pregame.
Yeah, that was just
pregame. Was so secondary.
Yeah, and dude, we were going. It wasn't like, oh, we'll have a beer and a cup of water. Like, no, we just flew through this sucker, man. By the time we actually got to the New Japan show, we were just stumbling in.
Yeah, but we sobered up pretty quickly.
Yeah, we did.
There wasn't anybody like drunk that you had to like.
No, none of us were like that. Where we had to carry one another.
Leaving the Rainbow and getting to New Japan, I think we were pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, not like.
Yeah, but then once we got to New Japan and I started double fisting beers left and right.
You were the only one drinking still.
That was a whole different story, though.
Yeah. No, nothing bad, but yeah, you were the only one that like kept the party going.
Yeah, that was a very party. And then we ended up running into Moxley.
In the party.
I remember that. Yeah, at the very end, and
we're the only people there in Moxley.
Yeah, we left the venue. We're like down the street, and then all of a sudden, out of the shadows, dude, legit out of the shadows, comes Moxley walking out with his luggage. And then I'm like, I see him like, oh shit, it's Moxley. And then I'm the only one that marked out. Everybody's like, hey man, cool, relax. And then that's where I think Jeremy and one of our other buddies, Eric's like, hey, are you lost? You're trying to get an Uber? Like, yeah, I'm just trying to get an Uber, guys. It's like, yeah, you want to go that way, you can catch an Uber over there. And that was us meeting Moxley. So it was cool. It just had the blue.
He's like, you can ride with us.
But that was
drive me to Vegas.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. I can take off time. No biggie.
Yeah, literally, we're in the parking lot because Sal's wife like picked us up on the way back.
Yeah,
and only people there is us and Moxley.
Yeah,
I think he went out the wrong entrance and was trying to find his car or something.
Yeah, I was trying to find where to get an Uber or something. And then he just legit came out of the shadows. It's like he was doing this thing at us. You know?
Yeah. Well, Grayson's giving his first house show experience.
Boy.
He's 29. Okay. And my first WWE show was back in 2001. All right. I feel old. It was in Bristol, Tennessee, and was the C Crew during the house show. It was back in the days. Remember they did
ABC.
Yeah, they would do this group go to this area, this group go to that area.
Yeah,
2001 was big for that because I remember we'd always say, which crew are we getting? I got to see Brock Lesnar versus Perry Saturn, and I still remember how big Brock was. Yeah. Big Joker.
Yeah.
What's up? Teardrop. Right after the Ric Flair story. Steve, man, any wrestling stories you still think about or trips or you got anything? I know we can go on your YouTube, but
I've been lucky to see some cool stuff, man. Like I'll always remember being able to say I was at the finger poke of doom, the lowest part of WCW. Goldberg beating Hogan, which is one of the highest points of WCW. I've been to seven WrestleManias. I don't know, 5 SummerSlams. Like I've done a lot, man. I just want to keep doing it as long as I can.
There you go.
I got a new wrestling partner to go with now.
There we go.
We'll go, dude.
Let's go. Destination. I love it, man. I love it. So I promised I wouldn't keep you guys all night. I love that we just talked about life and wrestling.
No, yeah.
Because we got Busted Open. Listen, I'm hoping one day Busted Open gets to be 24/7. They have made that their goal every year. Like, they deserve it. But anything you guys want to say in closing? We still got some people in the chat. Like, Sally, you're bringing numbers, baby. You're bringing numbers. You're bringing
Mason brought numbers. I'm bringing numbers. Like, I'm a humble man. I'll take it.
Steve holding it down, man. It's been a fun show, man. I can't thank you both enough.
So. No, I appreciate the invite, man. I'm hopefully, hopefully this continues to blow up for you, man. Like, this is really awesome. That I told my kids I'm gonna go on a YouTube channel with my friend who does YouTube. Like, what? He's a YouTuber? I'm like, yeah, he's the best one out there. I'll put you over with my kids. But no, this is fun, man. This was like one of the easiest things I was able to do, because even sometimes talking wrestling sometimes can be in a conundrum sometimes. But man, when you're talking with friends and you're talking about the things you love and just in life, man, this is easy, man. I can do this all day.
Steve's such a good dude that the first couple of times he came on, he would text me and be like, anything I need to have prepared, anything you need me to research, like.
I wanted it to be a good show, man.
Yeah, he wanted to be a good show.
I don't want to bring numbers down.
Who cares? And I was like, honestly, no. Like, I'm not saying we're talking shop and it's going to fly off the handle and who knows where we're going, but like, I just wanted to be a conversation, man. Mm-hmm. Have fun, have a conversation.
Definitely been fun. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I go for every time, man. Anybody comes on, I want them to say, man, I just had a good time BSing.
That's what I like.
Say, man, I wasn't prepared, and he wanted to discuss the TNA No Surrender card in 2 weeks, and I didn't know, because I've had that before in the show once. They asked me about a TNA show. I hadn't watched it.
TNA? I thought it was Impact.
This was a while ago. And I said, man, that Eddie Edwards was great. You know, what can I say? Never has a bad match. I totally lied. So I don't ever want people to feel that. But you guys were awesome, man. I can't thank you enough, man. Anything you guys want to say in closing? Talk about whatever. The floor is yours, guys.
Yeah, I just appreciate being on the show, dude. Like, Steve, now I got a new buddy in town where I can go hang out and talk some more wrestling and have a beer or two. So no, yeah, again, just thanks to Jeremy, the main man right here, and getting us on the tube here. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Me and Jeremy clicked like we'd been friends for years, man. At WrestleMania, we had done a few of these leading up to WrestleMania, and pretty much Jeremy was the only person I hung out with in Vegas all week long. I mean, I saw Jeremy almost every day.
Yeah,
can never get tired of that face.
It's more with you and your hair, so I mean, but no, yeah, you like. I'm always grateful you made my trip better in Vegas, so much better. Sal, you've always like, man, I'm marking out here, I guess, but I can always call you, Sal, and be like, all right, man, I can talk about anything with Sal, and whatever mood I'm in, I'm going to be in a good one after. So Steve, you're like that too, man. I vented to Steve a little bit in Vegas, randomly leaving WrestleMania, and he could have said to me, yo, I kind of just met you. I'm leaving WrestleMania and you're venting about something, but he was like, no talk. I'm happy to listen. That's a good friend, man.
That's a brother, right?
I don't just do that to anybody. That's for sure. Sal knows that. Yeah. But hey, guys, thank you. I'm not going to keep you all night. I know we could probably do this all night, but Sal, please just open invite, bro. Anytime.
Whenever, man. I'll make time. I'll make time for the rock and roll show.
I will always work around your schedules, fellas. All right, guys, thank you so much. And if anybody has anything after this, myself, Sal, or Steve will get back to you with any questions or comments, man. We love the interaction. And if you're thinking about joining the Patreon, man, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I don't think you'd be disappointed.
Give it a month. Give it 2 months. I'm sure you're gonna laugh one way or another. You're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
If you like the Good Brothers, you like their humor, show up, have fun. You're gonna laugh.
If at the very least the chats aren't your thing because you're a private person, and I totally get that. The boozing with the boys alone, just attending that, is worth its weight in gold.
Yep.
Well, you can tell because he said that 52 people that didn't subscribe for month number 2, and he figured out it was because like it fell off from the Booze and the Boys. That's how many people paid just to hang out that one night.
Right, and that was a factor the first time too around. That was the big selling point. Because we were on a good 2 hours every time.
Yeah,
I mean they really give you a time. Oh, another Patreon. 100%. Heck yeah, it's worth the Falcons. See, we didn't even use the term Falcons Nest this time. I'm still getting used to that, man. Sal's the OG, the first OG, and then Rex that really embraced the term Falcons Nest. So if they embrace it, my OG people, I embrace it too.
Hey, man, it's all fun, dude.
It's all good times. It's all it is. It's just to have a good time.
Yep.
Nothing more, nothing less. But hey, guys, fellas, thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough, man. Seriously.
Oh, thank you, man.
So much fun.
Pleasure meeting you, man. We're gonna have to catch a beer after this now.
All good. Peace out.
All right.